I'm John Gertz. In my last two talks, I made the point that given only that aliens are out there and they wish to communicate with Earth, that they would not be sending electromagnetic signals from their own planet to our planet, but rather communicate by means of sending probes, actual physical satellites or probes to our own solar system, and by means of these probes surveil us and then communicate with us. So from this you might deduce that I'm a great believer in UFOs, or as they're now sometimes referred to as UAPs, or unidentified anomalous phenomena. Actually, I'm an agnostic. I'm open to it. Obviously, I believe that the alien probes are here in our solar system, but I'm really an agnostic about whether or not they are the same as the UFOs that are reported. Now, let me tell you why. First of all, one of the reasons that I'm an agnostic is I'm still ignorant on the subject. And I admit that my only source of information about UFOs is what I read in the mainstream press or have seen on 60 Minutes. Second is that the reason that I'm ignorant on it is that I come from the vantage point of astronomy. And from that vantage point, I've deduced that aliens' best strategy is to communicate via probes. However, astronomy begins where the atmosphere ends. And UFOs or UAPs are strictly an atmospheric phenomenon. Consequently, it's really not within my wheelhouse. And so I leave it to, in some respects, to others. But I'm going to let you know now what it is that I would find impressive in terms of evidence. So far, I haven't seen it, but maybe I will someday. But here are the sorts of questions that I would have. One is about the photography. All the photography I've ever seen, at least, looks like it was taken with a camera which has got Vaseline smeared over it, or has been obviously photoshopped and is a hoax. So the first thing I want to see is convincing photography. One thing is that we all carry in our pockets pretty good cameras. Now you can argue that these cameras are not really great at taking pictures of little dots in the sky, zooming around in fashion that defies all of our known aerodynamics. Fair enough, but if there were 40 or 50 strangers to one another all taking a video of the same little dot in the sky, and doing it from different angles and different perspectives, I'd find that impressive. I'd find it impressive if 40 or 50 strangers to one another sitting in window seats in an airplane all looked out the window and took out their iPhones or and photographed or videotaped the same anomalous phenomenon. That I would find impressive. I know of no such evidence. I'd like to get an explanation for the lack of sonic booms. By most accounts, these UFOs or unidentified flying objects, or UAPs, make fantastical twists and turns that defy all aerodynamic knowledge. They do things that our airplanes cannot possibly do. Right angle turns, fantastical accelerations, and that sort of thing. But where are the sonic booms? Any object moving through air at some speed moves atoms, moves the air molecules themselves. Those air molecules moving at fast frictional, at fast speeds and create friction among themselves. That friction then is what we hear as a sonic boom. It's just a matter of pure physics that something moving through the air at a fast speed will create a sonic boom. Nobody's heard them. What about the radar and satellite corroboration? There are thousands of satellites out there, so many satellites up there with sophisticated sensors and cameras looking down on Earth all the time. So far as I'm aware, none of them have recorded anything anomalous. What about the radar in corroboration? If pilots see a UAP, as Navy pilots have, is there radar corroboration? If so, I haven't seen it. It may be there, I just don't know. I haven't seen it. Now, there are those that argue that there is, in fact, good quality evidence. It's just simply been locked in government vaults and stamped top secret and is highly guarded. I don't buy that. And let me tell you why I don't buy that. The first spacecraft allegedly crashed on Earth in 1947 at Roswell, New Mexico, and there have been others since then. There have been 14 presidential administrations since then. Every single president must have made the independent decision to keep that information under lock and key. Bill Clinton went running breathlessly in front of the cameras when he thought that a simple microbe had been discovered in a Martian rock. How much more breathless would he have been, and how quicker would he have run to the cameras had it been a UFO or sighting or evidence for an alien spacecraft that had crashed? I don't care whether you love Donald Trump or you hate Donald Trump. I think we can all agree that Donald Trump would not have kept this a secret from the public. And it's not just Bill Clinton, and it's not just Donald Trump, and it's not just the others of the presidents, but all the thousands of members of their administration who must have been in on the secret, and not one of them had a deathbed confession. Not one of them leaked information in the New York Times or the Washington Post. This defies all logic. Washington is received for information, and it's all done anonymously, and anybody who leaked this information in the New York Times would have been guarded by the New York Times. I don't believe that fear of leaking would have prevented the leak. And then we have to also consider other countries. UFOs can crash anywhere. They could have crashed in Uganda or outer Mongolia or any other place. And so all the governments of the world would have to be in on this conspiracy. No, I don't buy it. I don't think that we have the information because the information doesn't exist, that purely and simply. Now, if I'm wrong, you know where to find me. I'm at johngertz.com, and you can contact me there. And while you're there, you can also find links to all of my peer-reviewed published papers. So until the next video, thank you for tuning in, and we'll be talking again later. Bye.